Liminal space, the internet sensations that draw the attentions of your eyes. When I say the word, you might already have this kind of image in your mind. A physical space that invokes a feeling of transition, a path of where I am now and where I will be. And if we speak of liminality from a more traditional sense of how anthropologists use it, then it will be the rite of passage, the transitional stage of life event, like puberty, marriage, graduations, etc. A stage of ambiguity and disorientation. All these definitions spark my interest, which is why today we are not talking about this kind of liminal space. We are going to talk about this kind of liminal space. Yes, the internet. At least for the first part of the video. You can argue that this representation might not be accurate or alter the original meaning of liminality, which is true because, first and foremost, the internet is not a real physical space. But so are these photos. And the infamous background footage that popularized the genre is also made out of CGI. What's more, the liminality that I want to talk about today is not the aesthetic feeling you get from the internet culture, but rather an amalgamation of thought and idea that had developed around the idea of liminal space. To put it quite frankly, I'm trying to create a new or alternative definitions to the idea of liminal space. I think one of the main points of liminal space that people agrees on is that you are in the midst of nowhere and yet somewhere, a place with constant transitions. Taken with a more classical liminal approach, it would then be a train station, airport, or highway. No one goes there to be there. People might pull in billions of dollars to decorate the infrastructure, but at the end of the day, they will never be like a museum, restaurant, or public park. They will never be the destinations that are quite frankly meant to be forgotten. This brings us to today's topic. Where are you on the internet? Like literally, where do you stand on the internet? Or maybe I should be even asking a bigger question. Where is the internet? We certainly know that it's from a data center that is out of nowhere. I'm sure that some of you who are more tech savvy might be able to figure out where exactly is the location of the data center for you to watch this video. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. We all know that the idea of internet came from the name World Wide Web. It is everywhere around the world, not at destinations you can reach. And if you search for the most normal or obscure things that you can think of on the internet, you will be faced with thousands of results. Is there even an end to Google search result? A constant clicking limbo. But let's be honest, who even clicks beyond page 2 of Google? This, however, still is a problem, because we said that the first result of peanut butter and jelly from Google is in any way better than the one on page 10. The algorithm just chooses it for you. But theoretically, you will never know is this the best one. And theoretically, you will have to click through million choices to find out the perfect one. Transition is obstructed, but not eliminated. This is just like the trolley problem for automotive vehicles. Someone has to write the code on who the car should hit. The agency of your choice seems to be neglected because it is someone or something else who chooses it for you. The same for internet search. For the sake of saving time, we all decide to trust the neatly organized output of the first page of Google. But the paradox of choice is always present on the internet. Disorientation is hidden, and ambiguity is implied. Neil deGrasse Tyson is an astronomer, and there's this one tweet, or should I say a collection of tweets that I will never forget thanks to PewDiePie. In a mirror, you can kiss yourself only on the lips. This tweet always struck me in my mind somewhere because it is kind of funny that he tweeted the same thing multiple times. But also, it is true that if you do that on a mirror, the only thing you can kiss is your own lips. However, it is in my mind always much more fascinating to acknowledge the only things your lip cannot do in real life is to kiss itself. It is the same analogy as fire won't burn itself, teeth won't bite themselves. The mirror is seemingly diametrically opposed to the limitations of your own lip, and teasing you with what is seemingly your own taste. Aldous Huxley is the French teacher of George Orwell. Orwell and his famous book I think need no introductions. The idea of someone always under control, being watched, and being deprived of information is in a lot of ways a very logical conclusion that can be deduced. We have seen historically how books have been burned. Prussia, being the very first country in the West to push for compulsory education, actually frightened of the people who were learning in the school. Tragic second for that, if peasants learn too much knowledge, they may revolt in the cities. So it is always interesting to see in the book Brave New World, Huxley would depict the notion that maintaining control need not to be done by brute force, but by pleasure. You can simply drown people with sea of informations, so that they would not know where to look at. Who would have time to grieve if you don't even have enough time to play? Speaking of play, Mass Effect is a game where you have an elevator act as a loading screen. It was originally used as a way to hide the loading time to make the transition seem more smooth, but the old console with limited hardware makes it simply yet another tedious situation, which is why it is always good to know with the modern technology, God of War achieved the work of art of no loading screen. The only problem left for me now is, it takes 25 hours to play the bare minimum of the game. Right now, you might be thinking, according to the title of the video, this video should have something to do with YouTube, and you would be right. Because now I want to narrow the discussion of liminal space from internet to YouTube. I will do that because first, the thing I said before still applies to YouTube. Second, YouTube is the platform that I know the most. What's more, if you want to live stream, no problem, you can do it on YouTube. Want to post a short video? No problem, you can do it on YouTube. I mean, literally it's called short. Another reason I want to talk about YouTube is because there's this strange and specific quality to YouTube. Stop and think for a moment. Before you click this video, what happened? Did YouTube automatically play the video? Or were you scrolling the comment section and saw something you like? Or was it you were on the YouTube front page? No matter what happens, the most important thing you have to remember is that on the internet, these are the place of transitions. Similar to a bus stop, airport, and hallway, no matter how beautifully you design your webpage, no one will pay attention because it is not the main focus. The goal is always what is next video to watch, what thumbnail catches your attention. But the difference between YouTube and classic liminal space is that there is always a moment of positions in the pathway. You are being stuck in between something. I might be passing on an escalator, walking the hallway, or waiting for the flight boarding announcement. On the internet, however, everything is instantaneous. There's no time to wait. I'm always one click away from the next video. And of course, good Wi-Fi is assumed in this statement. If you do not want to click, the system will even click it for you. In addition, if you look closely, there are so many negative spaces. But who would pay attention? Are those spaces just designed to be functional? And yet you could not deny that YouTube do care about the web page layout. I mean, how many of you guys remember this YouTube design? So to YouTube, it does matter how it looks. Because functionally speaking, the old layout is not flawed. You can still watch video with that. Still, I think I haven't talked about the crux of the matter. And I still haven't justified myself on why I need to mention Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brave New World, and God of War. Because interestingly, the supposed layout that should serve as liminal space suddenly doesn't feel like a threshold anymore. There's no more transitions, an inversion has occurred. The video, the content itself, becomes the transitions. Just like what I've mentioned before, I'm always one click away from the next video. The choice for you to stare at the red bar underneath and see how long should you keep watching this video is totally a choice that is out of my control. I guess a better way to phrase it is up to you to choose how long should this red bar keep transiting until it starts all over again. And for me personally, it is getting harder and harder for me not to speed up any YouTube videos. Faster and faster until I can do the same thing all over again for the next video. And the same cannot be said for a Twitch video, because it is live stream. Certainly, you cannot move faster than real time. That's like asking you to do a 60-second push-up within 50 seconds. And if you are already watching video like TikTok, what are you doing? It is already short enough, you don't have to speed it up. You can argue this might be a you problem, which I cannot deny. You might be happily enjoying your video with no rush at all, which is why I'm finally talking about the final part of the video. Art. While people is still arguing is video game the 8th art form, I'm going to jump the gun and ask, is making YouTube videos the new art form? If I use the definitions from the Oxford language, it would be the expression or applications of human creative skill and imaginations, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing work to be appreciated primarily for the beauty and emotional power. I also tried to look up on what other famous people have talked about art. Leo Tolstoy said, "Art is the activity by which a person, having experience and emotions, intentionally transform it to others." James Joyce said, "Art is the dispositions of sensible or intelligible matter for an aesthetic end." Judging by these definitions, certainly a lot of people would think that making YouTube videos would also be an art form. And yet, I think it is safe to say we cannot name more than 5 YouTubers who ever call themselves an artist. People on YouTube usually just call themselves YouTuber, as if it is detached from art. If there's one that calls themselves an artist, then most likely that channel is about animation, painting, or sculptures. And I think it is useful to identify what is artistic video. Artistic video must be a certain type of genre, but not a particular video from a single channel or a single YouTuber. After all, we will not do this to other kind of art form. There's no one particular building count as art, but somehow others don't. When it comes to YouTube, I'm pretty sure that we all have seen some video that truly makes you feel something. It made us ponder, laugh, or even cry. And while I was searching material for this video, I found that John Green mentioned YouTube is a decentralization of existing artistic platform that would be good for media, but also quality of discourse on the planet. This popped up while I was searching for the keyword is YouTube art, and just few clicks under, it somehow already turned the conversations into how to have a good YouTube banners. Moreover, it is more interesting if you look into the most popular channel for TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Overall speaking, do you see a problem? I'm pretty sure that most of the Twitch streamers that were shown on the list are operated by someone that has a familiar face, a person that we could relate to. And mostly the same for TikTok account. It has some online influencers as the face of the account. But when we look into YouTube, a lot of them were just media corporations. They might be producing art like movies and music, but they ultimately don't care about YouTube. It could be YouTube today or MeTube tomorrow. As long as they can promote their own content, they are willing to move away. YouTube is just a means to an end. I think it is no coincidence that this is also why some of the most viewed content on Twitch and TikTok are something that was at least created, participated by the influencer themselves. It is only on YouTube where you can see music video like Despacito having 8 billion views, with number 1 having unsurmountable view of a staggering 12.1 billion views, Baby Shark. I mean, is that what you can think of when you are watching YouTube video? Music videos and videos for kids. Even if we ignore the companies, the kid channel, and music video, there is still a problem. Remember, this part of the video is supposed to be about art. Is art supposed to be just about fun and entertainment? Where is the part that is supposed to make us scared, make us cry, or angry? For example, if we look at the top channels with seemingly real YouTubers, you will find out that the channel have the commonality of making you feel happy. MrBeast's $1 Million Challenge or PewDiePie meme review are good videos in their own right, but overall speaking, the video only have the intentions of making you feel entertained. Like, can you imagine a museum would put on a MrBeast video and have an expert analyzing it in front of dozens of people? How come something that is being watched by so many, evokes so many emotions, run out at this kind of settings? Does that mean we have a too pretentious approach in high and low art, or is it something else? There is even a Wikipedia page called Video Art, and it does not once mention the word YouTube on the page. Will that say something about how art is running circle on YouTube? Nowhere to go because nowhere to be seen. Speaking of YouTube videos in the museum, do you know that in 2016, a Dutch museum tried to hold the world's first exhibitions for YouTube? I don't speak Dutch, so the video that I'm showing might contradict the things that I'm going to say. But which part of YouTube reminds you of Samsung, VR headset, and DJ blasting music for people to eat and dance? Do you think they will have the same treatment for an exhibitions for cinema and painting? And most importantly, throughout this short introduction video, they didn't actually show much of YouTube videos. Isn't that a bit ironic? An exhibitions about YouTube seems to put YouTube videos in the background as filler. That's like having an exhibition about Kubrick, but just mentioning his name in the welcoming video, but never show one scene from his movie. The one thing that is kind of YouTube about it is that they at least have some YouTubers in the exhibitions. One of the videos that is on the webpage is a vlog done by a Dutch YouTuber. Somehow coincidentally, the content of that YouTuber is also aimed toward the idea that YouTube is just this fun and joyful thing to watch. Again, I might be wrong, because I don't speak Dutch, but I'm quite confident judging by the thumbnail of the videos. It really seems like joy is the only emotions you can get from YouTube. At this point, it might just be the problem of how I examine the video. Maybe I shouldn't just look at the extreme outliers that might not reflect the nature of the site, but even that is not the solution. For example, you will often hear that how-to video is popular. They may not have a lot of views in a one particular video, but collectively, they account for a large portions of what you see on YouTube. According to Google, Teach Me Something New is ranked as second reason as to why we watch YouTube videos. And not just how-to videos. Your cat video, top 10 list, or exercise video also hold up a large portions of the produced video that are being uploaded on the website. But I think it is safe to say most of these videos do not have the intentions of being artistic. They work more like a factual manual of video that you watch to pass time. The thing is, it is not like YouTube does not have people with real creative drive to create something. But I think it is safe to say a lot of the videos from YouTube are not in many ways original. For example, you have Let's Play video, you have people talk about anime, TV show, movies, weird internet culture, and obscure art. There are plenty of those videos out there, but I think we should realize all these videos rely on existing media. These videos are never genuine on their own merit. When you review the next game, watch the newest movie, or critique the upcoming manga and comics, it relies on the existing art form of the previous generations. Even if you take the video that talks about something seemingly not related to art, for example, science, history, or even true crime, the problem will still exist, because there's no such thing as original YouTube video that stand alone. YouTubers of this kind create great content, but they succeed not because they discover or created something new, but because they are great editors, gathering knowledge like a collector, sewing them together to transform the content as their own. I am of course not trying to bash on the YouTube culture of content creation. Even I think I myself, knowing all this, still wouldn't be able to escape from the phenomenon that I observe, which in some way just proves that how prominent and prevailing the situation is. Is it really that hard to create art as a YouTuber? What is unique about YouTube? I think it is safe to say it is that sense of rawness that YouTuber can relate to the audience. And you can sense that rawness by the video productions. For instance, when doing skit, a lot of YouTubers will need to perform as multiple characters because of the low budget constraint and mostly because YouTube is a one-man job. This at first seems to be something unique about YouTube, but because of this unique setting, this ends up also constraining the genre of the video. The idea of one person doing multiple characters break the illusions of reality, which end up most of the time limit this kind of video to be just about comedy sketches. If comedy sketch is all there is, then it just goes back to my original first point. Is YouTube supposed to be just about fun? Is that the only artistic quality? If we somehow have really high production values and multiple actors and actresses, then another problem occurs. We lose that sense of rawness to the audience. And the YouTube video at that point might as well be called movie or short film. This is a weird dilemma that interplays in video productions that only exists maybe on YouTube creations. I guess medium is the message. Another way that some videos have tried before is having the audience involved in the story. I still remember when I was small, there is this video called Time Machine. At the end of the video, it lets you choose the ending that you want by having you to decide which video link do you want to click. This kind of video was popular for a while, and it's something totally unique to YouTube. And I thought at the time it was quite genius. But nowadays, I'm not sure is it the algorithm or whatnot, you cannot see this kind of video anymore. Another kind that I can think of on top of my head is having the audience be part of the production team. They can be part of the contributions by writing lyrics or story dialogue for the new videos. Yai from Jack's film is one of the notable examples where he would ask audience a question and read out the comment section the next day. Hence the name Yesterday I Asked You. But at the time of recording, even Jack's film himself is not doing Yai daily anymore. Asking your audience to be part of your project might be interesting and unique, but technically, even a singer can ask their fan to fill out the lyrics if they want to. Organizing thousands of comments into one coherent narrative is also a hard job for one man to do. It also runs the risk of being called lazy or stealing your own fans' idea if not done properly.
Well, do you want me to steal your fan theory and use it as an idea?
I think it is an interesting and unique concept for YouTube because of the level of audience engagement it cultivates, but an idea not executed by many. There is one more type of video I have been avoiding this whole time, which is vlogging. It certainly is something that, with the help of YouTube, a kind of medium that thrives out of nowhere. And admittedly, different vloggers have different style of cool editing and cool personal story. It is just like real life artists, with each new art pieces having its own philosophy and story behind it. And depending on who you ask, some might even say that some animation channel work just like a vlog. They also talk about their own life event, and I have to admit that this is really something unique to YouTube. But have you heard of blog? The things that people do in the mid-2000s. Different people also have different kind of writing style and their own personal stories. If vlog itself is a new emerging art, then why not its predecessor? And in many ways, ultimately, vlog is a way to show your own personal story. Isn't that just another way to say autobiography? But when you look at the autobiography of, let's say, Einstein, that book itself might not actually be the main subject. The autobiography of Einstein is interesting because we know that his achievement alone is interesting enough. That's why we want to know more about him. There is something outside of the biography, some cultural recognitions beforehand that form the aura around the book. It forms a strange situations where there is so lack of things that we become the content. My life itself must become art if YouTube need to be considered artistic. I guess to kiss your lips, you really do have to buy a mirror. MrBeast right now stands at 129 million subscribers. That number itself just shy of a dozen million to reach the populations of Russia, which means it would rank number 10 on the list if we are talking about world population, slightly winning Mexico. MrBeast and his famous formula of giving out money as video content basically pioneer a whole new genre for YouTubers to follow. MrBeast is the guy who once gave out an island, stay in solitary confinement, and try to build the largest Lego tower. And yet, with all this video content and being the dominant force on YouTube, it is always ironic in my mind his most successful video is Squid Game in real life. A video content that got influenced by none other than previous existing art form. I guess all I want to say is, if art is a person, then YouTube is the liminal space. Always transiting, but never arrive. So that basically it. That's the end of the video. And I've been thinking a lot lately, maybe I should add a 10 to 15 second clip about a charity or something that I thought worth mentioning in the end of the video. Because if I'm worthy enough or lucky enough some days to get 1 million subs, maybe it will help a lot. Yeah, I found a charity about malaria, and if you have the resources and money, you can try and donate it. I'll link it in the descriptions below. And apparently it threatens the life of 3.2 billion people around the world right now. So yeah, that's it. Remember to subscribe and like and hit the notification bell.